I have aimed my magazine at particular social groups. For example, hardcore kids, scene kids, emos, goths, rockers, metalheads, etc. And I feel I have shown this with my audience demographic, which includes images which are typically associated with these subcultures. For example, MySpace and Facebook, which are social networking sites which are typically used by these subcultures. All of the sites, the vocalist from Bring Me the Horizon, which is a band typically listened to by most of these social groups. Cigarettes were used as more and more of these social groups are smoking, and the age group my magazine is aimed at. Leeds and Reading Festival logos as bands that these social groups listen to typically play at these festivals, and Download Festival is a festival dedicated to the typical genre of these bands that these groups listen to. I have made my magazine so it appeals to these social minorities through images used on the front cover and the design layout I have used. For example, I have used barbed wire and my masthead looks to have been scratched into the front cover. This connotes antisocial behaviour typical of these social groups or the age group my magazine is aimed at. This links to Roland Barthes' theory of encoding and decoding media text, and I have positioned my audience to decode the front cover and to know that it is a metal magazine and the right magazine for them if they are in the social group I'm aiming to provide for. The following 3 images were used for the anchorage so the audience will immediately pin down the meaning to metal or alternative and assume the genre of the magazine. I have used Suffer the Branks, a metal hardcore band from Sheffield who have been featuring in the music circuit for a few months, and as I know the band I was able to take pictures of their rehearsals and make an exclusive feature out of it. I feel the anchorage was successfully used as the image I used had instruments in it and the band actually rehearsing. As you look at the vocalist Daryl, you can see his facial expressions that he is screaming into the microphone, which will appear to the hardcore kids as this is a subgenre of music they listen to typically. Also, you can see the vocalist's piercings and stretches. I have also used Count Me In, a pop-punk band from Rotherham, which appeals to the emo scene kids social group, as all members seem to be wearing skinny jeans and Converse, which are garments of clothing typically worn by emo or scene kids. Ajumi at 6, a band from Surrey, South England, and they are a mainstream rock band who already feature in magazines like Kerrang and Rock Sound, and during the production of my magazine I was able to see them live, and I was able to take pictures of them playing their show and use these for the live reviews. This will obviously appeal to my audience as they are already a well-known band who appeal to many different subcultures. As a hardcore kid, I typically listen to metal, deathcore or hardcore, but I do like bands like Yumi at 6 and a few associates do as well. So we are atypical in the fact that we listen to this band, but from personal experience I knew this would be a good band to feature in my magazines, especially as they have already featured or covered in mainstream magazines like Kerrang. Each band is taken from a different genre to appeal to a rounded target audience and to appeal to more social groups. For example, if my magazine just featured bands like Suffer the Branks, Throne would only appeal to hardcore kids or metalheads, whereas by using all 3 of these bands on the front cover I have appealed to all of my target audience. By using stereotypes, it has made my production of my magazine easier, and I feel this helps the audience in buying the magazine, as they trigger feelings of understanding as the images and features are things the audience identify with. For example, gigs. Many of my friends and associates are typical in the way we dress and act, and the music we listen to. I have taken to social norm as to a guide for my magazine.